So welcome to week 3 of the Role Model Target team. And congratulations, everybody, for coming back again tonight. I'm really excited because I'm having a lot of fun with y'all. I don't know if you know that or not, but it's just so much fun to be able to sit around and talk about some of these things that are real situations in your business and learn from each other. And then also, at the same time, learn some new things. One thing that we learned last week when it came to training is that to be a leader who is going to be a good trainer, you need to be a leader who's a student. And so I love that we can all come here to this call with that same mindset that we're students and that we have things to not only contribute, but also to learn. And the way we may have been doing something, we may decide to try it a different way. So I am looking forward to this week as well, Kaz. Tonight, our topic is elevating your team. And last week was nourishing your team. So it was all about what you can pour into people. And then the elevating your team is how do you recognize them? How do you bring everything to life? How can you activate your team? Still pouring into your team, right? But also really taking a look at what is important. Training is a part of, your role, of course, that is super important. And it's what we talked about last week. And of course, we need to train people to hold events, to know how to talk to people about wine club, create conversations about joining the team. But as an effective leader, you also need to know how to recognize and coach your team, because recognition and coaching will make all the difference in your efforts to really inspire and ignite your team into activity. Although coaching is not the same as training, sometimes we do get it mixed up. And a lot of times when we're coaching, we put on our training hat and then we get out of training and we go back to coaching and we flop back and forth. But the reality is that, coaching is really just helping people to create their own personal power, because we infuse some inspiration and we help guide people so that they're making their own decisions so they can change maybe the course of action and accomplish things that they never thought possible. One of the things that I love about coaching is you get to build a more personal relationship with somebody. You get to become that support for them, and you actually move into a place where it's just as exciting for you as the coach when they reach their goals and when different things that they didn't think were possible actually become possible. So we're going to talk a little bit tonight about that. We're going to talk about recognition for sure. When you tie in a good recognition program with mentoring and coaching, you're just like, it's incredible, the new heights that you're going to be reaching. So elevating your team is all about that. And of course, to help me present tonight is the amazing Diana Federico-Hau. And she's really got some great things to share with you guys that she's doing on her team. And really just things that she's learned also along the way. It's meant to be a very comfortable conversation tonight. I want people to participate for sure. Jump in if there's anything that you want to share. We are going to attempt a breakout again. We'll see if I can. Diana, were you there the first night when I was going to do like a 5-minute breakout and it ended up being 1 minute?
No, but I heard all about it, Chris. I was like, I wasn't there to help Chris.
We're going to try again. I know Diana's always my right arm whenever I'm having any technological problems. So I'd love to start this training tonight with a video. But before I do, I want to know how you guys are doing with the new CE onboarding challenge. That would be the tasting flight challenge. Does anybody want to share how things are going?
I can share. I just have had one person do it so far, which is Amanda Marcini, who, I mean, she really wants to do well with this. And so we did one discovery call that ended up with not someone joining, but someone doing a fundraiser. And I think they pretty much knew that that was something they wanted to do anyway. But it was a good experience, I think, for Amanda and I both to do the discovery call, because I don't do a lot of them, because I don't, I haven't had, a lot of people do them. But she now is looking for the next person and the next person and the next. I'm like, let's get them lined up so that we can just get them done, get them done, get them done. As soon as we have one lined up, we can get the kit out, we can do the discovery call, submit that, and we can go on to the next person. Let's just line them up. Especially this week where they get the free crush registration. I mean, oh my goodness.
I know. We really, really, really need to take advantage of it this week. This is pretty amazing.
And then I have Kenosha, who is a new person. She wants to do, but she's not finding anyone. And so I'm like, well, what's the risk for anyone? Get on a call with me, and who knows, they might love it. And if they don't, it doesn't matter. We're just trying to get into action to find the people that have an interest, find out what their interest is and where it is and where we can fit in. So like, it blows my mind that they can't find somebody like their best friend.
What do you think? Did she share with you like what her offer is, or how she's at creating interest?
No, I've tried to give her some words around that. But she's not shared what she's actually saying. Okay. So that's a good, go back and ask her that.
Yeah, I would just spend some time on that and see if maybe, you've got that's part of the reason why we did the discovery call, so that, they can hear your words and how you're saying it. And I think too, maybe even just sharing the clip from, the little video that we have. It's actually not that bad, the words that they say and creating interest, and kind of refer her to some of that training that we have. But I think also a lot of people probably might try too hard. Like they're thinking so hard, they're trying so hard, and it really needs to become something that's so natural for them to do. So
I agree. I think she is overthinking. And wanting to get the right person. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't have to be the right person. We just want to somebody who's open to the idea.
Sounds great. Okay, I'm gonna locate the link, you guys, again, so that I can give you guys that opportunity to go to the forums and stuff. And then Diana, I see that you offered something to Kaz.
I was just saying, present it more of the way where, the goal, who doesn't matter what the outcome is of this call, right? Like, keep pushing that with her, keep saying it over and over again. Like, that's not the point. It's not about them signing up. It's more about you being able to listen in on how I talk about One Hope, you learning how I talk about, and keep pushing that angle. That way she gets more comfortable just wanting to offer it to people, and she'll get disconnected to the results. Because I feel like from what you're saying, she's really connected to the results. So try to get that part away, so she's more likely to book it with you.
So true.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah. I will tell you that Julie Moore did have a discovery call with one of her teammates, actually Elsie, who is part of the SCE target team. And I believe that Elsie promoted to SCE, and she also did a discovery call, and her person signed. And so now she's getting ready to get another tasting flight to send out. And so, this is something that can work, you guys. I think it's just having those conversations and keeping it going, and letting them know too, hey, you can join us right now and be a part of our biggest event of the entire year, that, absolutely free for coming. So, yes, Jane, it's for only people in the fast start. Yep.
I did a discovery call with Yasmin Pearson. It might be Watts for you. I think she's in the SCE target team.
Yes.
She's not a fast start, and she's been on my first line, so it doesn't count for the tasting flight. I sent one on my own, but her person signed, and it's creating a lot of good momentum for them.
Oh, Katie, I love that. Thanks for sharing that. We definitely want to share these stories, you guys, as people are doing discovery calls and signing and, it's a real exciting time. Oh, Julie's with us. Elsie didn't promote yet, but her awesome friend Rufina signed up during the discovery call. Okay. Somebody told me about Elsie though, other than you. And I'm like, what is that other story I heard about Elsie? So her name is Getting Around. She's doing great. And so are you, Julie. That's awesome. All right, you guys, let's get started. My video that I want to share with you tonight is John Gordon. Now, if you were part of Crush in San Francisco back in 2018, we actually had Julie Moore. Julie Moore, is that her name? Julie Nee. Julie Nee. Tracy, Julie Nee from the John Gordon Company came and spoke to us. And the book that she was really referring to in her keynote and her workshop with us is called The Carpenter. And we gave that as a gift to everybody for Leader Day. It's a great, great book. The very first book that John, it wasn't the first one he wrote, but the first one that was really published was called The Energy Bus. And that's how I got to know John Gordon. And I really love this video that he has put together about the 3 C's to get your team on the bus. And I want to share it with you guys. So it's about 6 minutes, so I'll go ahead and play it now.
But there's one final principle I have to share. Because you can have a great vision and you can be positive, but we still need to get our team on the bus and truly engaged. Because what I have found is that people follow the leader first and the vision second. And so if you're not someone that they want to follow, it doesn't matter how great a vision you have, it doesn't matter how positive you are, they're not going to get on your bus unless you take the time to invest in them and develop a relationship with them. Buy-in, all in happens when we do 3 things. And there are 3 C's, and I hope you'll write them down because they're simple and we can take it back with us to our clubs. And the first C is we must communicate. Communication is so important because communication builds trust. Trust generates commitment. Commitment fosters teamwork, and teamwork delivers results. It all starts with great communication, and remember this, where there's a void in communication, negativity fills it. Have you experienced that? We have to make sure that we fill the void with positive communication. I realize this at home too. We have to fill that void. We have to stay positive. We have to make sure we're communicating. My wife got me this book. She said we should read it together. I look at the cover. It's called Have a New Husband by Friday. It's all about slowing down and communicating. But you know what? When we're busy and stressed, we don't communicate well, do we? We have to make sure we overcome the busyness and stress to make sure that we're investing in our relationships, to make sure that we're communicating. Because when we're busy and stressed, it's like we're driving our bus 100 miles an hour through life. And instead of taking the time to invite people on the bus, what do? We run them over. We have to focus on great communication. Then we have to go to the next C. We have to coach them. Focus on coaching. Everyone here, to me, I see as a coach. Someone is here who is to mentor, to develop, to guide, to coach people. I was with Doc Rivers with the Boston Celtics before the season. They used the Energy Bus last year. And I said to Doc, what's the most important thing you do as a coach? He said, I communicate with my players and I make sure that I coach them to be better. And everyone here could focus on that. We remember the people who invested in us. We remember the people who coach us. And I have found that when you succeed as a coach, it's not because we're great, it's not because you're great, it's because you bring out the greatness in others. And so much of coaching is that you believe in them more than they believe in themselves. You don't see where they are, you see where they can be. And so you develop them, you mentor them, you guide them, and you develop them. You bring out the best in them. And when you do that, when they know you are there to coach them, to make them better, wow, they really get on your bus. I worked with the Atlanta Falcons for the past 5 years, and one thing I've seen from Coach Mike Smith is he truly coaches his players. He is a coach first, and he invests in those players. And those players, when they get on the field, they are playing harder, and they are more loyal for him, and it's the same thing with your teams every day. And the final C, caring. We have to show our teams that we care about them. It's so simple, but again, the busyness and stress keeps us from caring about the people that we're supposed to care about. Remember that. Focus on showing your team that you care about them, and they will buy in and they will be all in. So how do we do that? We recognize them. We appreciate them. We say thank you. Remember those two simple words, thank you. You know, companies spend billions of dollars on recognition programs, but you know what people really want? They want a sincere thank you. Just appreciate me. The number one reason why people quit their jobs is they don't feel appreciated. The number one reason why they stay is their relationship with their manager and their boss. Now, do you have to challenge them? Yes. Do you have to sometimes push them? Yes. Remember this, not tough love, but love tough. See, I believe in tough love, but for it to work, love must come first. If your team knows you care about them and you take the time to invest in them, they will allow you to push them. And that is what really creates an all-in team. It's that care, it's that love, it's that investment, it's that recognition, and it's that appreciation. And that makes all the difference when we do that, and we focus on that. And by the way, guys, I tried this at home, and it works at home too. And I realized it's about the little things. Told you about my wife. Well, I called up Ken Blanchard, author of The 1 Minute Manager. I said, Ken, I'm speaking all the time on the road. I'm traveling a lot. I come home, I'm exhausted. And what does my wife want? She wants a neck massage, Ken. I said, Ken, I deserve the massage. What should I do? He said, John, give her a massage. He said, if you don't, someone else will. So guys, you know what I do now? I give the neck massage. I help with laundry. I've become really good at laundry. I do the little things. And you know what I found? It's all about the little things that let our team know that we care about them. And then I've created an all-in team. Remember this, rules without relationship lead to rebellion. Andy Stanley said it. Rules without relationship lead to rebellion. If we focus on the relationship, it allows us to create the team that we need to truly be successful. But there's one final principle I have to share.
Okay. Wow. So what did you guys think of that?
It was awesome.
Yeah, what was awesome about it, Darcy?
I mean, I love the little things, like just, I mean, it's like, I mean, I feel like the message is kind of, it's sort of simple and sustainable, and it's sort of something that we keep hearing from different people all the time, right? I mean, it's like, I think about myself, I want to be recognized. I want to be appreciated. I want to know I matter and I'm cared for and I make a difference, right? So it's just turning around and doing it for people on your team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anybody else?
I like what he said about his wife. Like he'll have a new one by Friday.
I know.
That's funny. Sorry.
I love that too, Tracy. Rules without relationship lead to rebellion. Mm-hmm. So it's so important about building the relationship. What else? I saw the one thing that leapt out to me right away when he was talking about communication was where there's a void, negativity will settle in. That was powerful because I'm like, you know what, that's so true, you guys. If you're just, trying to, like maybe you're not spending as much time. Like he said, the stress in life can keep you from caring about the people you care about. And that happens so many times with our teams when we're not connecting with them on a regular basis. So what else? Anything else jump out to you guys?
I liked when he talked about the number one reason people quit their jobs is because they don't feel appreciated. It kind of ties into what Darcy said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's so true, Chris, how you always remember those who like invest in you and coach you. Like I'm sure all of us on this call right now, when you really think about it, like you remember the people who invest time and who spend time coaching you and events. That's so true. Like you always remember those people. And to us as leaders to kind of think about, do we want to be that person for our teammates?
Right.
Right? Do we
Right.
want to be that person that they kind of always think about?
And sometimes when we're doing that and we're investing in our teams, that's when we really get caught up in that belief in them, where we believe in them more than they do. And you don't want to quit on them, because if you truly do believe in them, eventually they're going to see it. They're going to feel it, right? Yeah. Well, one of the reasons why I wanted to show you guys that, and I'll make sure that I supply the link for you too, so that you can watch it again if you want to. It's just that, recognition is that important. We all, we all love to feel recognized. So we know that other people can feel recognized too. And a team that creates an environment that both motivates people, and where positive behavior is rewarded, is going to attract the best people to the team. People are going to want to be a part of your team. It's going to help maintain strong morale. It's going to help retain the key people on your team, and you'll be able to stay ahead of the competition. And if you recognize and appreciate your teammates, good things are going to happen. So this is kind of interesting. Recognition and appreciation will decrease CEs not showing up or responding. And it will decrease CEs quitting, but it will increase productivity and positive competition. And that's a fact. That is, the statistics will show you that every single time. And if
Can you
you
say
want
that
it,
again?
what?
Sorry,
Huh?
can you say that again?
So a team that creates an environment. Wait a minute, where was it? Recognition and appreciation are going to decrease CEs not showing up or responding, and it will decrease CEs quitting, and it will increase productivity and positive competition. Okay. So if you want a team that responds to you and follows you, you want to get to know the way that they want to be recognized. So let's talk about this. What do you guys think about that? Do you feel how each of your teammates like to be recognized?
If
No?
you look in the back office, there's a this form when it's onboarding. It has all those questions like, what kind of things do you like, and how would you be appreciated? And I think it's like talking about gift cards, and has a whole checklist.
Mm-hmm. It's called a CE profile.
Yes, there you go.
Yes, and it's something that you can actually type out if you want. It's a PDF that's fillable. It's a great document. I created it. So, and I used it. I created it because I used it. And Kaz has even seen it before. She saw it when we were in Alaska together, because it's something I always pull out, because as you're having conversations with people, especially in the very beginning of the business, and you're getting to know them, you don't send it to them like a questionnaire, but as you're getting to know them, you're filling out different facts about them. And one of the things is you find out what are their favorite snacks? What are their favorite candy bars? That kind of stuff too, so that you can know that for Happy Mail, but really, how do they like to be appreciated? And so, if you use it for nothing else, I think it is helpful for that, to be able to see those tips. Yes. So when is the last time? And Diana, feel free to jump in anytime if you want to, but it's good to have that in there so that we can copy and paste it to our, but it is, we do want to make sure that we're asking people what they love.
Just mention that, Chris, because I think a lot of people might be thinking, oh man, I never really asked that, or I never filled out that form, and you know that form, right? And we just say, I never did it. So you don't think you can do it now, just because the teammate's been with you a few months, a year, 2 years, doesn't matter, right? You can always now circle back with them and kind of ask those questions and start now recognizing them. It's never too late.
Yeah, you can start right now. So what are some ways that you guys can learn about your teams, other than we've got the form? What are just, you could just throw it out there. Just did a Google form.
I think you could do a poll. Like if you have a team group, you could do a poll.
Mm-hmm.
How do you say it? Poll?
poll.
Thank you.
I actually, today I'm going to try and do consistently on Mondays. I put up a post today in my group to try and engage with everybody, and I called it Get to Know Me Monday.
Mhm.
And I gave them 3 questions. And I asked them, and the questions were super simple, like, because I feel like I'm starting from ground zero. Where are you from? When did you join? And what's your favorite varietal we have?
Mhm.
And so I did, get some feedback. So I'm going to try and keep that consistent on Mondays and just build upon it as a fun way for everybody to get to know each other. So we'll see how it goes.
That's great. I love that, Stephanie. You know what? You just start somewhere. And I think that starting off with those 3 simple questions is really, really cool and fun. And it's easy for people to answer. Great. And I think, Jess, you mentioned something about doing a survey, right?
Yeah, today I did my tracker. So I pulled out my personal group and decided to just send out a Google form.
Mhm.
And just so far, only 14 people have answered, but it's like 14 more people that gave me answers.
Mhm.
So it was, what's your title? Is there any leaders in our organization that you want to do our training calls? Is there any topics that you want us to cover? Is there anything that I can specifically support you on? And then how do you like to be recognized was actually the last question.
Mhm. Love that.
Just to see like what they might come up with. But Steph, I like what you also just said about the get to know me. I forgot what you just called it. I wrote it down. Get to know me Monday.
Yeah,
I was
get
like,
to know
I
me.
literally just wrote it down and I couldn't remember. I apologize.
Okay.
I did it in a group chat once and just was like, all right, everybody share your location, your favorite wine, and a fun fact. And it was
Mhm.
really interesting because there's people who like never respond to anything who respond to those type of those type of posts where they just want to like all of a sudden like, oh, I can participate in this because it doesn't have to do with anything of actually doing work.
Mhm.
It's like the weirdest thing, but they get like really excited and they participate.
Yeah.
So I love that stuff.
Thanks.
Yep, that's great. Awesome. Well, anybody else have anything that they want to share on that question? Other ways to learn from your team? Well, I think that building the relationship and really listening to them as well, and really hearing them, because I think that being being a great mentor and coach, and anybody who's sincerely recognizing people, you have to be listening. You have to hear them so that they know that you care. It's so important for inspiration. I don't think motivation is something that you create. I think you inspire people and they create their motivation based on the inspiration, knowing that you care about them. So really think about that and copy anything that's in the chat that you've heard today. And in a minute, we'll go into a breakout, but I think Diana has a few things she wants to share with you guys too.
Yeah, I do, Chris. Thank you. I thought it was really interesting learning more about this and learning how recognition holds a higher value than even income. I thought that was really like, wow, like really thinking about that. And when going further with that, it's because, money gets spent, right? Like we all here, we want to earn money, but money gets spent, and the recognition sometimes lasts even longer than the money that's spent. So keeping that in mind when you're kind of talking through your teammates and coaching your teammates, realizing that, yeah, they might be going for an income goal, right? Or an achievement or a bonus that, we have as a company, but the recognition of what they're doing in the activity and achieving that is going to go even further than that bonus they earned. So making sure you're really taking the time to recognize them during that and throughout the whole process, right? I always say even the action steps it takes to kind of get there, recognizing that as well, and then putting in the work along the way, and not just when they're achieving the goal, but as they're working towards it is also really important. So they feel recognized for putting in the work. So that way they want to do more work, right? Like they're being recognized for it. So they want to actually put that work in. It's just a form of empowerment. Really, to just recognize them and let them know you see them. And I know this term of paying it forward, right? Like recognition is the best form of paying it forward that you can really have in your team, and creating that culture of recognition is going to be really, really important. And it's going to have them feel appreciated. It's going to have them feel inspired. They're going to have them inspire others and want to inspire others. And that's kind of how the growth will happen. They'll start to feel inspired themselves. When they feel inspired, they'll start to inspire others. And then you can start to have like this momentum and the snowball effect within your team, where all together they can start, recognizing each other, right? As well as you recognizing them, having other teammates also realizing what others are doing and recognizing each other also can go a long way. And creating that culture will help you with that as well. Some ways to kind of create a recognition culture is first setting a goal, right? Like, what do you know me with goal setting, what do you want to accomplish? Make it really, really simple and really specific and kind of what you want to accomplish with the team. Decide on like what you want your goal to be and make sure it's something that they can achieve, right? So you want to set like a culture and a goal that's something that your CEs are actually achieving. That way they can actually feel accomplished and appreciated, and you can recognize them. You don't want the goal to be so far-fetched where they don't achieve it and they're not doing the action items and then there's no recognition happening, right? That then defeats the whole purpose of setting the goal. So try to make it really simple, you guys. It could be 1-1-1s. It could be something as simple as book a tasting, like whatever you want it to be at first, to start recognizing a big group of people, to have them feel that will be really important. And that will start the culture to kind of begin. Choose what you're going to recognize within the goal you set, and really have the communication be key and have that be the guideline you set when you're recognizing. So let's say someone hits the goal. How are you going to communicate that recognition to them? Is it going to be through text? Is it going to be through phone call? Is it going to be through a shout out on your team page? Whatever it is, just make sure you're making a really big deal of it. Because if you're making a really big deal of it, they're going to be excited about it. And if they're excited about it, they're going to be excited to do even more for you. And like I said, the ripple effect will start.
I love it. That is so great. I love that you are, kind of taking us through just some very practical things here about, what the recognition, like when you're creating the type of recognition plan that you want to have, that you're realizing how simple it is and just the big return you're going to have on it. All right, let's do like a 6-minute breakout, you guys, and we'll wrap this thing up with recognition right now. I would love for you to I'm going to put you guys, I think, in groups of 3. And Diana, I'm going to keep you with me, okay? But I'm going to put you guys in groups of 3 and let you discuss together the ways that you elevate your team through recognition, okay? So one thing is to discuss with each other what you're doing on your teams that's moving the dial. And then you can share, like, what do you do for monthly recognition? What do you ask for testimonials? Are you inviting them to train, to lead on a call or something? And we'll just go in for like maybe 5 or 6 minutes. You guys discuss, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap up this part on recognition.
Kaz and Steph and I sort of were on the same page in terms of recognition, sort of feeling maybe like we need to do it a little bit more, that we do it in our team pages, like, for the little things. And although Steph said, she's snail mail is what she does, which I was like, yes, I mean, that's not a new concept to me, but I know how greatly appreciated it is when I receive it, and making an effort to do that, I feel like would be very impactful. Jess Landau's very good at that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this just to chime in about snail mail. It's something we talked about as well. And I've actually saved every piece of snail mail I've got that's recognition wise, which in turn reminds me like how valuable it is to me. Probably not the only one that feels like that. So that's definitely something I want to do more of. And I have these, we talked about, it's not about like a gift, it's about like the appreciation. And I thought it would be cool to include the note, and then I have cards, like I have a stack of cards. I don't know, I got them at Target or something, and they were like inspirational cards, and I could take one out when I feel like it's really fitting and include it, because I know it's stuff that I've gotten stuff like that and I've kept it. So anything that sparks inspiration or joy for somebody.
Oh my God, look at Tracy. Tracy, is she showing us all her snail mail that she's received?
Uh-huh. You do, you
Hey,
keep it all.
Crazy. I'm not a cat lady, but I'm a save everything this is over 6 years.
I love that. I'm going to send you some snail mail.
That's Tracy.
Like the itineraries from the earned trips.
And when you're having a bad day, you can go through that bag and think, oh, okay, I am doing a good job.
Mhm.
Welcome to Napa.
It's
That's
like a
awesome.
time capsule of love.
Yeah.
It reminds you just how far you've come, all the things you've accomplished.
Yeah.
Yes, there are a lot of cards in here from you.
Aw. Yep.
Oh, wait a minute. This one, look, Jane Eastham. Oh,
That
yes.
is
I
very special. And that is, you guys, there's so much value with that. I think it's so true, Diana, what you said, that people value recognition more than they actually do income. And so, so where is Diana? I see her coming back in. She wasn't even in here and I'm talking to her. So yeah, you guys, I love that. Anybody else have something, a takeaway that they want to share real quick from the breakout? Is this something that you want to implement right away in your business?
I think mine is the just do it. It's one of those that we talked about it and I think about it and I think about it and I think about it and I don't do it. So while it looks like I'm not paying attention, I'm doing exactly that. I've been writing little notes that are actually going in the mail this week.
Mm-hmm. That's great. That's great. All right.
Jane, show them the name tags.
Oh, people who engaged with me on my last team email about, what they wanted or what they were doing, because my team's so small or getting so small. I just made little name tags with their name and One Hope and Cause Entrepreneur, the little magnetic name tags. And I'm going to send, because most of the people joined when we weren't doing in-person tastings. And so now that they have the opportunity to go out in person, it'd be nice to kind of feel One Hope official.
That's great. That is really an awesome thing. And you know what? We used to wear those and we would just pretend like we forgot, that when that was on, to be able to, be that thing that people will go, what's One Hope? What do you do? And you start the conversation. That's great. You're an awesome leader. All right. Well, you guys, we're running short on time again, like we always do every single week. Diana and I were just talking on the break that, there's always so much content. So whatever we can't finish tonight, we'll finish in the mastermind. But Diana, did you want to wrap up on this section at all?
If you wouldn't mind just a minute, I would love to talk about just recognition and some things that mean a lot to me when I'm recognized and some things I do for my team, just for some ideas as well. One thing that I was thinking about when we were putting together this training, Chris, was about how I felt when I first was recognized and kind of reminding myself of that moment and how I keep feeling every single time I'm recognized. Because if I'm remembering that feeling and it means so much to me, reminding myself to actually do it for other teammates, bringing myself back to that makes me actually do it, right? So keep reminding yourself of those moments when you felt recognized. I remember when I first started, a big thing for me, I was so competitive. I needed to be in the top 10 of sales. Like I would message Jess, I wanted to know where I was, if I was going to be, and it just meant so much to me that I was recognized for that. And, that was just a stage of my business where that was really important to me. So remembering how important that was to me, I kind of forgot about that, to be honest, Chris, until we were going through this. And I'm like, oh man, I remember how much that meant to me to be on that list and how important that was. So just kind of thinking on what it means to you to be recognized. Another thing for me is whenever I'm in, the ups and downs of the business and I'm in kind of that little rut where I'm kind of questioning myself and what's going on, I actually have a box of all the notes that Jess has sent and Kendra has sent and just everyone has sent to me. And it's in this box. And I actually open it and I read through them. And it kind of helps me remind myself, like, you are a badass. You can do this. You are a good leader, right? Like all those things that I sometimes question just myself. Reading those notes really, truly does help me. I kept every single one of them. I have them all. And it's like my box of like belief and motivation. So remember that your teammates are keeping them. Sometimes they won't, but most of them probably are. And it's probably hung up somewhere and it's probably in a box somewhere and it means so much. And they probably will look back at it at some point. So know that what you're doing when you take that 5 seconds to write that note, it's worth the time because it's going to mean so much for them. And I think we kind of went over some ideas of things that you can do to recognize. But another thing that I do on my team is we do something called Feature Friday. And I wanted to share this where every Friday we pick a new teammate to go live on my team page and kind of share a little bit about them. And it gives them the opportunity to feel recognized. And we make it a big deal when we select them. Like
you're picked as our feature CE of the week, and you're going to get to go live and share with everyone a little bit about you and something that's going great in your business. And they really, really love it. And they get super excited. Something so small, it doesn't cost us anything. So just wanted to share that with everyone in case they wanted to implement something along those lines.
That's
How do we
awesome.
choose the Kaz, we choose so the leaders and I, we rotate every week. We have a Google sheet with all of us, and then every week a leader gets to pick someone on their personal group that they want to highlight.
That's so great. You know, I think that so many times we get hung up on, you know, like the next thing we're supposed to talk about tonight is mentoring and coaching, which we're gonna get to a little bit of it, and then we're gonna pause the rest and we'll finish it up in the mastermind, because I want Diana to specifically talk about what she does as far as her coaching of new CEs and stuff. But the one thing that I just want to, coaching is going to help you get everybody moving forward, right? But the recognition is so important, making sure that they feel cared for. These things that mean so much that you can pull back out that make you feel better. It could have been that voicemail. That's what I had, you know, 20 some years ago. It was a voicemail that somebody left for me, letting me know that he believed in me and that I had what he saw in the successful people. And so those are the things that like kept me going when it was tough. So that recognition, you guys, if nothing else, just really make it a big part of your business and what you're doing with your team. I'm going to kind of like go fast forward so we can get right to what we were going to talk about, Diana, because I really want this to be a part of, I can't put it in both masterminds and I can't expect it to be at both masterminds. So why don't you take us through a little bit about how you coach your team? And I know that we're really wanting to talk about like from a new CE and then on. I mean, it's really a journey that everybody goes through with coaching.
Sure, happy to. So when I'm talking to my new CEs, I really try to remind myself that I'm the one that's going to set the pace and that I'm the expert and that they are looking to me for guidance. So keeping that mindset before you talk to anyone that's new is going to be really important, because you're going to kind of dictate how the calls go. And they're more than likely going to follow your lead because they're looking for guidance from you, right? So from day one, how I start my conversations is that, you know, right away, I'm here to help you and teach you how to build a balanced business. And this is how we do it. And I jump right in teaching them the balance of events and selling and team building. And I start from the beginning on that conversation because I want everyone to see what's possible and I want to show them what's possible. I do tell them it's their business, their way, and I'm here to support them, but I want to make you all the money. And we have one team rule. We do not leave free wine or free money on the table. And my role is going to help you earn all the things. And this is how we're going to do it. So I really focus on Jumpstart Rockstar as like my first goal with my new teammates. And I say, okay, great. What we're going to focus on the next 2 weeks is we're setting up your first event. We're going to open up your first link. We're going to set up a date for your first in-person wine tasting event. And we're going to get your first bestie on the phone or someone you know that loves wine so we can chat a little bit about One Hope, because this is part of your coaching and this is part of your training. And I want you to hear how I talk about it so you can learn how to talk about it. And right there in that conversation, I'm getting them started with their first event. I'm getting them to understand that we book discovery calls right away. And I'm making it a non-pressure type of call where, hey, I want you to pick someone. Who's your bestie that loves wine with you that you would love to do this with? Who's your person? Like I kind of talk through with their list and I'm like, great, let's get them on a call. They're going to be part of your training. They're going to help you as you're learning the business. And I'm going to talk with them a little bit about One Hope. I'm going to answer some questions they asked me. And it's a great training tool for you to learn. And that way it's non-pressure. They're not thinking, oh, this person has to join me. They're not thinking anything other than this is a training for them. But I know if I'm on the phone with someone that they chose, this is the one person they think would want to learn more, I know that this conversation maybe can go somewhere and this can be their first teammate. So that's kind of how I start. I spend a lot of time on their list as well. So I'm going really fast and I'm sorry, but I know we're really short on time. So I'm trying to speed through this, but my call that I have with them, I'm like, okay, we're having your first event. how we're going to figure out how we're inviting people to your event is we're going to start making a list of everyone you know. So your homework is to make this list of every single person you know, and we're going to together go through this list and figure out who we're inviting to your event. And I do that so that way they just start writing down names of every single person they know, and then I can work with them on that list. So I actually take the time going through each person and say, tell me a little bit about Sally, tell me a little bit about Jane, tell me a little bit about Kristen, right? So then I can help direct them. It sounds like she's going to be like a great host for you. Why don't we ask her to host one of your first events? It sounds like she should be doing this with you. She's always fundraising. This sounds like a teammate. Like, let's get her on a call. Like, I'm helping them kind of understand who they know and where they can fit into their business. So the guesswork is not on them. It's more of, you just tell me who you know and we'll work together to see where they fit inside your business. And that's been working really, really well. I get them excited when they start making sales, especially for their event. My communication with them is like, hey, what's the donation up to so far? How are the events going? You know, how are the sales going? I really make it focused on fundraising for them, for their event, and then reminding them, hey, like, your event's up to $500, you know, did you know that that's $100, your first paycheck, right? Like, helping them realize what they're making as well along the way. So they're getting really excited. And we have a system in place for my team where we have this onboarding system where we spend time connecting with our teammates one-on-one. And we also have a call that's set for them. It's actually every Wednesday night that we do them. And it's a place for that all of our new teammates to go, where we know they're getting the basic information about the business that they need to move forward. So how it works with my team is us leaders, we rotate who's kind of leading the calls. There are 3 calls that happen at the exact same time every Wednesday night to make it really easy for our new teammates, right? Wednesdays at 9 is your first training call. We'll see you then. We don't ask, does Wednesday at 9 work? We don't say, like, we're like, great, perfect, you signed up. We're going to work on your list. We're going to see you at Wednesday at 9. That's your first training call. We can't wait for you to meet all of our leadership team and all of our new teammates, right? Like, as if it's expected for them. And on these calls, we go over 3 different things. The first one is working through their list and having them expand their list. So we do a lot of mind mapping on this call. We talk a lot with them about what it is to get Rockstar, what it is to get Jumpstart Rockstar, how exciting it is to get the bottle of wine, the 6 bottles in that Rockstar bottle, how exciting it is to get the bonuses, right? We talk a lot about the excitement of jumpstarting their business, and we give them our top tips on how to get started. Call 2 is all about fast start and the potential of what they can earn during this period, and about discovery calls, what a discovery call is, how to book one, what the importance of it is, and not to be attached to the result. And then the 3rd call is about events. That way they know what an event is, whether it's virtual, in-person, vendor event. We go over all events. And the reason why we have these 3 calls is because by the end of the 3 weeks, I know all my teammates know what Fast Start is, what Jumpstart Rockstar is, how to book a discovery call, why they want to be booking discovery calls, and how to hold an event. And those are all the basics for the business, you guys. So I know that if these teammates are plugging in, they get through those 3 weeks, they're set. Then all we need to do after that is really coach them on their personal business and have them keep moving. So that is how we structure our onboarding system. It's very focused on fun. It's very focused on the energy of earning all the things. It's very focused on this is what we do together. And it's also focused on growth, because once they get that first teammate, and I know a lot of you have heard me say this, we go through LCE in 7 days with them, right? Like, we go through that whole idea, like, great, your first teammate's on board. We're going to teach them to do exactly what you just did, right? We're going to have them earn their Jumpstart Rockstar. We want them to earn their free wine. We want them to earn all the things. So it's more of that teaching them duplication right away, and they're promoting right away. Because of that, they're hitting LCE, then they're hitting SCE, right? They just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. So that was a really, really quick version.
Beautifully. I
Okay.
think you did beautifully. You guys, Diana just took you through her system. And when you set up that system early and, like, you've got those 3 weeks, so they're feeling trained and they're feeling confident. Coaching is about empowering people. And so when that's the approach that you come with, that you are going to empower these people to be able to get all the things, at least get that training and get that confidence, it helps so much. And when you do that, you're able to help them see their own potential. Soon they'll believe in themselves as much as you do once they start to go through the action. It's going to help them be more independent. It's going to make them feel more confident in sharing this with more people because they know that their people are going to go through the same thing. And while your team might not be set up to do it the way that Diana's team does it, it doesn't mean that you can't have a system that has, what is that word? Reliability. It's like the consistency makes people believe in the system, that adds value to the system. And so whether your system is like Diana's or you have your own system, stick with it and be consistent, and people will trust you with that. So it's a trust.
Chris, can I make a quick suggestion really quick? So if you don't have a system like this in place, something very easily you can do is have the same idea, but leveraging our training center, you guys, because all that information is there for all of us already. So instead of having the call, what you can do is chat with your teammate, set the goal, direct them to the training center, have them watch this welcome, right? Have them go through that welcome. All that I go over is on there. They build their list. Everything is on that training. Then you meet with them again, you chat with them, then send them over to the fast start training. They'll learn all about the bonuses. They'll learn about discovery calls, have them watch those too. Chat with them again, then send them over to events. We have the events training on there, right? So you don't actually have to have the calls in place to have the same type of system, but leverage the train. The idea is just having a system. So set up your calls where you're chatting with them, you're directing them to a training, right? Because you don't want to spend time on training, you want to spend time on coaching. Right. So have them, the training center's there for the training, have them learn everything from Chris. She put it all together for all of us. And then you talk to them and you coach them, then send them back to the training, learn the content, then you chat with them and you coach them on it. That's what the system should be. So if you don't have a system like that in place, just start playing around the training center, find some videos that you love, some sections you love, direct them there, and then coach them through that. And you'll have just as success doing it that way. That's how we started with that.
Yeah, I love that, that's how you started it. And we actually put it together for you guys. I think we put it out last week. It's called the Fast Start Training Path. And if you go into the training center where it says libraries and on-demand training, it's right in the middle. And so you can take people to it, have a link right to it, and then you can follow up with them on your next coaching call with them, follow up with what they learned, and stay connected. I'm going to give you guys the call to action tonight. And then when we get together on Thursday and Friday this week, we're going to go backwards. We'll rewind a little bit and we'll talk a little bit about what coaching is and what it isn't. And we'll talk about some of the concepts of coaching. And then we're gonna keep this conversation going. I was telling Diana on the break, I said, after Crush, we're going to pick it up again. And, we can pick it up with new topics and stuff. But when I finally get to the point where I'm going to start repeating it, I think we're going to draw it out to be a longer, like 8-week period, so that we can really spend time here discussing these concepts, because I think that's where the real value is. It's all these discussions we have. It's the sharing that we can do with one another. And because there's so much here, there is so much that we can do, right? So let me go ahead and share my screen. You can take a screenshot of it, but this is your call to action. You want to check on your target team candidates for SCE target team. As we mentioned today on the director call, it starts this Friday. Good news is we went ahead and I told Mary, I said, let's go ahead and just send that invitation out to everybody again with a reminder about it. And that way, it's fresh on their minds. So if you want to follow up with the people that you had nominated for SCE target team, we were sending that back out today to them. And then reach out and invite your team to coach with you. So, think about those people who you just want to get to know. Start there. Start with, what are what are the things? Maybe it's the 3 questions that Stephanie was talking about earlier tonight, and how simple it is, so that you can just at the very basic get to know them again, and then find out what the things are that they want and the things that you can do to empower them. And then recognizing your team, practice recognizing your team. Be very conscientious of what you're doing now. I know you guys will be after these discussions tonight, and how you're going to do that. And have conversations about what's possible with the compensation plan. With you guys, I didn't give you that lesson tonight, so we'll talk about that in the mastermind. And then I want you guys to really use this new CE onboarding challenge, especially with the opportunity for people to be able to attend Crush for free and get that great kit right now for free. Don't let that go. Reach out to those people that you have in Fast Start right now, and ask them who they know who would enjoy learning more about One Hope. And we're going to go right back to it with the goal of conducting a minimum of 2 discovery calls. And of course, working with your SCE target team candidates to participate in at least 1 discovery call this week. So if you've got some people who have been we've got a little bit of a overlap where we ended the March SCE target team and we're starting the April one this week, but the director target team is going on. So if you have people in the director target team, they're working on discovery calls too. Okay, so any last minute questions? Thanks, Darcy.